Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Violet Lee, your Tai Chi examiner. And today, I'm really going to have fun. You know why? Because I have Cari Shurman here in the studio with us. Cari, say hi to everyone.
Fun.
Hello. In my book, look at this book. This is a very cute book, right? And say Tai Chi for kids. And the little stick figure here and with a fireball in the tummy. And so when I got this book, I was just, so excited. I just started opening the book up and flipping through the pages and with all these drawing and so cute. And so this is not just saying, to show the cute drawing. And it is quite intriguing is this book teach kids and also the parents, all the parents and the kids together, how to do some Qigong exercise and for better health. And Cari Shurman, she is the author of this book. Okay, so before we talk about the book, Cari, I'd like you to introduce yourself to all of us. And I learned that you did not learn Tai Chi or Qigong until 1991, right? Around that time, am I correct?
That's right. I had been a teacher my whole life for over 50 years. But in 1991, I was in Shenzhen, China. And I saw that the school day started with all of the children doing these movements in the courtyard. And they would follow for about a half an hour, and then they would go to their classes and they paid attention. And then after 45 minutes, they would get up and they would do 5 more minutes of different kinds of movements. And I thought, that must be Tai Chi. I had never seen it. And I was very excited at how focused the children were. There were 70 kids in a class, and they would sit there and pay attention. And I thought, I've got to learn that. So when I got back to the United States, I found a Tai Chi teacher. And he said, I actually want to teach you some Qigong. They're very, very similar. And I didn't know the difference. So I started with him. And the very first class, I felt a flow of energy, a flow of chi in my body that I had never felt in the 20 years I had been doing yoga. I loved yoga. It was a great exercise, lots of flexibility. But suddenly doing these movements, my body got warm and relaxed. And I was really excited. So I studied with him. And then because I'm a teacher, I decided I would give
So what
classes.
did you teach at that time?
Well, so I studied a form by Master Niwa Ching, who was
No,
in
no, no,
Los.
no. I mean, before you learn Qigong, or what subject did you teach? I'm just curious.
So I've had a very varied background. I have taught in 6 different countries.
Oh
In
my God.
Argentina, in Argentina, I taught elementary school. In Peru, I taught university. In South Africa, I taught Zulus to speak English. In Brazil, I taught art because I love art, as you see from the pictures in the book, and ceramics. And in the United States, I taught French and literature and something we called moral issues for teenagers to talk about issues.
Oh, that's
So I
nice.
love teaching. And I just love being able to bring something to people that can improve their lives. And that's really been my
So,
goal.
so the subjects you taught before, it's not like say movement or not physical education or basketball or anything, but
No, no,
then you learn the qigong yourself and you had a great experience, very joyful. Is that right? And
yes.
so then
And so,
you started teaching children, or how did you make that transition?
so then I had a wellness center in Miami with a doctor friend where we taught a lot of different subjects. And so I said to the members, I'm going to share this Qigong with you that I'm learning. And so we did it outside in a park. And one person would invite another and another and another. And one day, a psychologist, an adolescent psychologist, said to me, can I refer some autistic children to you? They
Oh,
will
wow.
love these classes. So for 2 years, I worked one-on-one separately with these two autistic children, and I couldn't believe how they improved doing these movements. And I called them Tai Chi because at that time, no one had heard of Qigong in the United States. Nobody could
True.
it. So I called it Tai Chi for kids because it wasn't traditional Tai Chi. And the stories I could tell you about these children, they both came twice a week to my house to study. And we did these movements, and I did some art with them. And we learned how to bring the movement of Qi into their lives. And it was absolutely fantastic.
So just curious, how old were those two kids?
They were about 12 and 13.
12,
By the time
13.
we
Ooh.
finished, they were 2 years older.
It was good, and they could focus and pay attention to you and learn it. That's wonderful.
And they both ended up going to university and having
Wow,
careers. It was
excellent.
absolutely fabulous. They both developed self-confidence, which
Hmm.
is really the most important thing, because I've seen over all my years of working with children that if children have self-confidence, they're successful. When you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think each of us the same way. Yeah.
yeah,
Even for me, a lot of time, um, I have moments. I have self doubt, right? And if I could have full confidence in myself, it doesn't matter. I was a manager for a large company, or I was doing something else, whatever. And I think that actually that kind of attitude or the self confidence make my end result much better. Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
And so the way I teach, nobody is ever corrected. You do what you feel, because I found over time, everybody did it correctly eventually. Even if shooting the bow and arrow, they were shooting it up in the sky, after a while, they would get to the horizon. And so everybody was successful, and we never compared one child to another.
Okay, so um, you started with two students, and then did you ever teach in group settings? And then I think you did. You taught a long time, right? Something like 25 years to various schools in different even countries. Am I
Right.
right?
Right. So I started with these two children. Then I began with individual children from my own classes who were having trouble focusing. And after I had tried it out with not just autistic children, but high achievers who would get so stressed that they would fail the final exam. And I worked with one girl doing this Qigong, and she got straight A's on her tests after that. And she called me and she said, can I start a Tai Chi club for all the children in my school?
Oh my God.
And so that is
You must be very successful. You made it fun, right? Only when you made it fun, people wants to do it.
exact fun and successful. When you feel good about yourself, it's just amazing. And I have so many stories like that. But what happened next was I said to myself, how can I make this so all children can do it? Like in China, every child gets this in school. And so I worked out certain movements that were really easy to do and that everybody loved. And I made videos and I started offering it to schools. I was very lucky that I met somebody who worked in the New York City public schools who loved what I was doing. And she just couldn't get over it. She had been a yoga teacher, and she said, this is so easy. We do it standing up. We don't have to move furniture. we can do it for 5 or 10 minutes and it changes the day. So, sometimes you have to be lucky because not everybody knows what Tai Chi is. Nobody knows what
Very
Qigong.
true, very true.
And
But
so
I
it,
think partially maybe because you are so passionate about things you do, and
right.
then your enthusiasm can be contagious, right? And yeah, that's
That
how I
helps.
find you. I find you very genuine and very sincere and very authentic. Even though
Well,
I know little about you, but every time when we had some kind of um, together, even in meetings or whatever, you strike me as somebody that way. Yeah.
I do have passion, and specifically, I care about children. I feel that we spend so much time on adults. And if we would spend a little more time on children, we would have happier, more healthy, and successful adults. But in
True.
my here, we don't spend a lot on education. We don't protect our children in ways that they need protecting. So I am passionate, and I set my goal to try to let every child in the country experience Tai Chi for kids.
So the back to the story you mentioned in New York, and they saw your curriculum, right? They fell in love with it. So did you actually uh, taught there yourself, or you train somebody and then they teach?
Oh, no,
So how
no.
does that work?
I made videos so it'd be very easy for teachers to learn because teachers don't have any extra time. They're overworked, too many responsibilities. So I said, this has to be really easy. So I made videos that they could use to teach this to the kids. The kids loved it. I must have gone to more than 100 schools in New York City. They have 1,000 schools. I probably went to 300 over the years. And I trained at least 15 teachers in each school. Sometimes I would do professional developments with the entire faculty and gave them all the material so they could do it. And I said to myself, if even half of them do it, this will be terrific.
Oh yes, definitely. So this is, I think, a, a wonderful not just story, and it's a good model for us to, how should I say, to introduce the healing art to the school systems. And of course, you and I, we both practice the art. We know the benefit of doing that
Yes.
ourselves. We experience it ourselves. But you and I, we also exposed to many of the scientific studies about the health benefit of it. But then, how do we actually make other people to realize there? And it is very important. I think the way you promoted is excellent, and that can really popular the, the art in the school system. And then also, it sounds like you, it's all very short. You're talking about 5 minutes, right? It's not like, say, they do for half an hour, or like a PE, physical education things.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And this was important. I knew because I was a teacher, it had to be easy to learn and easy to fit into the day because you have so much that you have to do. But a certain amount of time is spent saying, sit down, get quiet. And if we turn that into Tai Chi, then everything works better. And the hard part was to convince teachers to do it every day. But a fifth grade teacher wrote to me and he said, I am going to do this every day. You've convinced me. And at the end of the year, he wrote to me and he said, I did 5 or 10 minutes a day. I had the best year of teaching in my whole life. And every child in my class performed in the top 50% of the school. That has never happened before.
So why is that? What's the causation there? And then what do you
Because
think?
because he gave those kids every day 5 minutes to recenter, refocus, connect to the earth, because we get all flying around with confusion and noise and worries and comparisons. But the kids loved being trees. And trees don't really do a lot, but they root and they feel powerful and strong and connected. Kids in New York City like that, kids in Brazil like that, kids in South Africa liked it. Everybody liked being
So,
a tree.
so in Brazil, and so you made it into Portuguese. Is that the
I didn't, but I speak Portuguese because I used to live there.
I
So I
see.
did it verbally. I'm in the process of translating it into Spanish because we have a very large Spanish speaking population. And I'm working with a group here that's asked me to translate it for them. So,
And you also have taught of still teaching in Mexico. Am I right?
but in Mexico, I go every year for a week and I teach adults at a spa.
I see. Oh,
And
okay.
that's it's a lot of fun for me. And I meet so many people. And I'll tell you, I met a man there who loved what I was teaching. And he was from New York City. And he gave a grant to the New York City Public Schools only for my program. And that was very helpful. It wasn't a big grant, but schools have so many demands that funding is very difficult. And so that really helped me to be there for 20 years, 22 years, that grant went on. And it was just fabulous.
Okay. Well, maybe you can later on tell me the name of the grant if you want to share that. That would be great.
He passed away. It doesn't exist anymore.
I see. Oh,
He
okay.
passed away during COVID, yeah. But there are lots of companies that give grants, and we're going to have to think about things like that. There are many organizations that would like to help children.
Mhm. Well, I think that this is really, really important. We all say that sounds cliche. Children is the future, right? And but but nowadays it is so to me it's scary because when I look at the statistics about the health situation in our country and the like say depression is very high among adolescents and and then it was never this way before and now it's like more and more with all these cell phone right and the tablets and the computer and the children are feel so much pressure every day and and that's one problem. And then there's obesities, and and not to mention insomnia. And one of the number I heard is like one over five children or something like that. I need to double check on that myself, but very high number, percentage of the children they are suffering from insomnia. And we all know if people constantly having problem of sleeping, it affect our brain,
That's,
it affect our moods, it affect so many different ways, and not to mention the children, they are still growing, right?
yes.
They need to sleep more than the adult, and
And
to grow fully. Mhm.
And 90% of brain formation happens in the first 5 years of life. So we
That's true
need
too.
to have relaxation and chi flowing for that. And one statistic that's really frightening is that the greatest increase in the use of prescription drugs
Oh,
for anxiety and depression is
you,
among elementary school now.
yes,
Oh,
you cannot get me started. I'm
elementary school.
so much against, really giving the drugs to young people. Drugs are bad, period, but giving to young people, it
Yeah,
has so many side effects, and a lot of them are long-term effect. And yeah,
dependency. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
definitely.
I had such positive experiences everywhere I've gone with children in every country. They love the feeling they have after 5 or 10 minutes of Tai Chi for kids. And that's what they say.
Okay.
I feel so relaxed.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what I did with your book. Okay. When I got it, I was, like I said, oh, I feel so happy just looking at these drawings. By the way, did you draw these stick figures?
I did. And they've been so successful. The children in the schools like to copy them. And yeah,
Okay,
it's
very good. So make me happy just looking at the book. Okay, and then like the first one say, waking up your energy, and I and there are poems to go along with that. I thought that was neat. Okay, and then like said, hey, what is this? There's a little QR code. Okay, say waking up your energy audio guide. I was like, let me play it. So uh, I did scan it, and then so I listened to it, and not only I listened to it, and I just follow, what it says, and it guide me through there. And after I did that, I feel really good. And it's really funny things, you know me. I'm a Tai Chi and Qigong instructor myself, and but I do this kind of things. I teach my student. But when I listen to you, I feel so relaxed. It was so good. A lot of time, teaching other people and doing yourself
yeah,
are two different things. So while I
right.
was following your voice, and I was like, wow, this is great. And since I had such a great experience, I wonder if you would be generous to share with everyone, the audience, and just lead some of the exercise you have in the book. And so we just follow you. What do you think? I hope I am not surprised you by this request.
I would be happy to do that. I won't do it with the QR code because it's a little bit long, but we could do just a minute, and maybe we should do the first four. We can wake up
Okay.
our energy, then we can be elephants, then
Okay.
we'll shoot a bow and arrow, and then we'll make bird speaks. Would that be a good idea? And then we
Let's
can,
do it. I'm going to follow you. Okay. So
okay.
so so I may not do it right, and so whoever's they're watching this video, if you think I'm making a fool of myself, you just laugh. Okay.
And the truth is, if you don't do it just right, it still works, because really and truly the most important part is what's going on in your mind and where your focus is. And so the children learn not to be inhibited, and they just close their eyes at the right time or fly at the right time.
So
And they
I
really feel,
would be how? Let me see. What's the age I should pick for myself? Should I be 7 or should I be 17 or something in between?
why don't you see what you feel like when you do it? Maybe you'll feel
Okay.
7,
Okay.
but
Let's
each,
try it.
because really, Violet, all of us have that love of being children inside of us, that innocence and that playfulness.
Well,
So let's begin.
one of my problem is I never know how to grow up anyway. That's me. And the one time my 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 son said, "Mom, you dress like a 5-year-old boy." Not just a 5-year-old, but I was a 5-year-old boy. So you can tell that's me.
That's great. That's great. So let's all do it together. I hope those of you
Okay,
at home.
I'm going to follow you. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to ping you so you will be big and we all can see you clearly. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so I don't think you pinned me. I don't know. I see both, but maybe you did. I don't know.
Well, I did ping you, but if you just having so-called gallery review, maybe you see differently. But when I ping you, it's only you.
Okay. So we're going to start by waking up our energy. Our energy is our chi, and it moves everywhere through our body. So let's start by tapping on the going all the way down to our ankles, and then come up the inside of your legs to your groin, and down the outside. Concentrate on tapping and feeling the energy moving. Tap on your groin and your abdomen, and close your eyes for a minute and feel that vibration inside. And then tap under your arm, down the side of your body, across to your navel, and up to the final side of your chest. And tap down the underside of your arm to your palm, up the back of your arm to your shoulder, and tap on your shoulder. Other side. Wake up your lips glands and all the muscles, all the bones and all the joints. And tap on your chest and close your eyes. Tap down the underside of your arm and up the back, and tap on your shoulder. Reach behind your back and tap on your kidneys and your back, not right on your spine, but either side. And then let the woodpecker come with the side of your hand, and he taps just at your hairline. Close your eyes. Feel the woodpecker relaxing all the muscles of your face and your neck. And let the woodpecker come to the other side. Relaxing again. Letting go of any tight parts of your body. And then let's shake our body and get rid of any tightness or any pain or stiffness. Move any way you want to shake out anything negative, and lower your hands to your sides, close your eyes. Grow roots from the bottoms of your feet deep into the earth, and relax your whole body. And now we're going to open our eyes, extend your arms forward, drop your head between your arms. We're elephants with a long trunk. Turn your palms up and pull the elephant's trunk back. Touch your fingers together, relate your back. Big inhalation, reach your trunk forward, drop your head between your arms, turn your palms up, pull back, touch your fingers together, and look up. Imagine that we're a family of elephants walking across the plains of Africa to find water. There's the watering hole. Drop your elephant's trunk down and let it circle just above the water. With your fingertips together, pull the water energy up to your tummy, and then let the water run down over your legs and back to the earth. Inhale, pull the water energy up to your heart. Exhale, let it run down through your body and back to the earth. Inhale, pull the water energy up to your forehead. Exhale, let it run back down to the earth. And once more, pull the earth energy all the way up. Shower it over your whole body. Lower your arms and feel the energy showering over you. Shake off your body to dry and stand in the sun to dry off. And now let's shoot a bow and arrow. Open your feet a little bit wider and have your feet at 45 degrees. We're going to gather the energy in front of us. Inhale, bend both of your knees and sink down. Extend your right arm out to the side with your finger pointing up. Turn and look at your finger. That's your target. You're holding the bowstring. You're going to shoot the arrow. Boom, let go and rise. Let's gather more energy, more chi. Bring it down to your belly, bend your knees, extend your left arm out to the side. Turn and look at your index finger pointing straight up. Shoot the arrow. And inhale, gather the energy. Exhale, extend your right arm out to the side. And now bend and straighten your index finger 9 times. Shoot the arrow and come up. Inhale. Exhale, shoot to the left. Bend and straighten your index finger 9 times while you look at it. Shoot the arrow and come up. Beautiful. And now there's a bird. Let's make a bird speak. 2 birds. One bird flies around to sit on your back, and the other bird circles around and around, going down to the earth to connect to the earth energy. And then grab a hold of that energy, and with a long, slow inhalation, pull the energy up your front of your body, all the way up to your forehead, rise onto your toes, and exhaling down. And then the bird looks up. Turn your eyes, look up at the moon and stars, and exhale through your tummy. And look up again, and seat your wrists at your sides. Then the other hand goes behind your back, and the other bird circles around and around, down to the earth, to find the energy of the earth. And bring the energy up the front of your body with a long, slow inhalation, feeling the energy rise all the way up to your forehead, rise onto your toes, balance, and exhale down. Beautiful. So that was just a short introduction to the first 4. Each one is a little bit longer, but I have 4 more I want to show you after. But can I tell you a few stories about doing this with the children and how they respond?
First, I want to thank you. It was really a treat. I enjoyed, following along, and it felt really good. Yes, go tell us the story, please.
Thank you. So when I start with the children tapping on their body, sometimes they giggle at first because they've never been asked to tap on their body. And within about 30 seconds, everybody gets quiet because they're enjoying it so much. And their facial expressions begin to change, because usually in school, there's a lot of sit down, be quiet, and this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, they're just making their body feel good. And I started a meeting with teachers at 3:00, the end of the school day. They're all looking at me in the auditorium like, oh my gosh, we just want to go home. And I said, let's all stand up and wake up our energy. And it must have been 100 people. Every expression changed because your chi needs to be moving everywhere. And life makes us get tight, so our chi gets stagnant. So I try to tell everybody, start every day by tapping on your body. And it doesn't matter if you don't do it exactly the way I do. There's chi everywhere, so you can tap wherever you want.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important. And there is a doctor, and she's trained, I think, at UCLA, a pediatrician. So she's a well-established a pediatrician practicing the Western medicine. And but long story short, later on she developed a qigong protocol for babies, and when they have problems like autistic, tendency. So she used the tapping, and then really connect the chi channels through the body. So once the connection is complete, the the kids no longer have those problems anymore.
That's
So, and yeah, so it is very important. Of course, you and I, we don't have the autism. However, everybody can benefit from that tapping, and
right.
it certainly feel really good. Thank you for include that in your
And for
book.
and for those of you who have pets, if you tap along the side of the spine of your dog, it's like they're in ecstasy. They don't want you to stop. So animals feel it too. It's so interesting. I didn't know that how that would work. But they're not thinking about what is she doing. They're just feeling. So it's really nice. So
Wonderful.
the second one, the children love because children love elephants. And children's imaginations are more vivid than ours because during life, as life goes on, we learn
Hmm.
be less imaginative and less creative because we're told that in our schools. So I've had children say to me, I like the elephant best because I had never been to Africa before. Because for them, we do 3 minutes of this in the class, and it's like going to Africa. So it's a whole new world. They forget about all of their responsibilities here because they're a part of a family of elephants drinking water. And so everything about it is peaceful. So and when children visualize, it takes them just seconds to get into it. Adults they're thinking about other things. Oh, I forgot to do that. And don't forget after this, I have to do. Kids know, I'm an elephant. And they
Yeah.
go straight to Africa. So it's really
Hmm.
powerful in just a short time for them.
Hmm.
And
Well,
the
you know, okay. The third one is the shooting the bow and arrow. It was very cute. That was gone. The bow is gone, and then the bird's beaks. And I think was the narrative. It's very very good. How should I say, you actually lead the chi, right, to different parts of the body. So I think the way your narrative or your poems and help with the visualization, and actually the visualization help the energy to flow.
yes.
So I think that's a very a clever way to do that. So yeah.
And the bow and arrow is really interesting. When I'm with the elementary school kids, I don't tell them anything about energy meridians and things like that. We're elephants and we're birds and things. But when I'm with middle school or high school, I'll tell the kids that when you do this with your finger, you're energizing your digestive system because this is the large intestine meridian coming here. And the kids are so fascinated by that. So they'll go around like this, And one girl came up to me, an eighth grader, after class, and she said, I'm going to do the bow and arrow every day so I never have a tummy ache again.
Oh,
And
good.
they're so open to it.
Mhm.
Adults don't say that to me. That's
But do
what
you, yeah, go ahead. Sorry for
people
interrupt.
question whether I know what I'm talking about. They just assume I do because I'm the Tai Chi teacher.
I see. Well, that's good to know. And the middle school children, they also appreciate this very much. So, what are the oldest students you have worked with?
I've worked with university students,
Oh, okay.
not a lot, but a few times, and they were
Do they
surprised.
also like stick figures?
I actually didn't have the book when I was doing that because the book is brand new. I
That's
wrote the
right. It
book,
just came out 2025 last year. Hmm.
yeah. So the book I wrote because I retired from teaching in the schools. And I wanted to have something that every parent or
Hmm.
grandparent or aunt or uncle or therapist could have to do this with children to continue this growing. Because after 25 years of traveling all over and teaching in so many schools, I thought I reached an age that it was time for me to retire. had the pandemic and it was really
But you
difficult to do.
still have so much energy yourself, and yeah,
I do.
that's
I do.
very good.
I, and my goal is to get the book to as many people as possible because it can improve your life. It really can in a simple way. And kids really, really need it.
Well, you
So
certainly accomplished that. It looks very simple. The drawing is simple. The poems are not difficult, but the how should I say, uh, the actually the it will really work well for our health in a profound way. So that's very good. And I see you got a lot of good reviews, and then yeah, from different people like Dr. Peter Wen of Harvard Medical School, and saying Tai Chi profound health benefit have dramatically increased its popularity among older adults in the West. However, it is potential benefit for children have been greatly uh, appreciated. So this is very good, and so we all thank you for making this book, and hopefully, and everyone watching this, can try it out, and they can go to your website, right? Uh, taichiforkids.com, and to get more information. And
and let me tell you one other thing, Violet, because I was thinking about this and the QR codes and how easy it made it. And then I thought to myself, maybe in the morning you want to do 4 movements, the ones we just did, or maybe before bed you want to do the other 4. So I made 2 more QR cards, and this has 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this has 5, 6, 7, and 8. So since bedtime is a real problem for children, for many children, getting enough sleep, if you do 5, 6, 7, and 8, and the last one you make an energy ball, and you take it to bed with you so that you're really warm and protected and safe. And so if you want to do those as a parent or anybody, you would use this QR code because it goes right through all 4. You don't have to stop and get your phone again. And then
wonderful.
when your child is lying in bed, you can play those quiet meditation, because what keeps us awake is our minds that are full of anxiety and fear and worries. But if we're thinking about a sleeping lion or a tree rooted to the earth or a ball of chi, it's much easier to fall asleep. So these are 2 more QR codes, 4 for waking up in the morning to be ready to go. And I want to tell you a cute story. I did this at a school in New York in the fall, and one of the mothers called the school the next day, and she said, I don't know what you did yesterday, but I went in to wake up my child for school. He was already awake. He had made his bed. His was 3rd grade. And he said his chi was awake and he was ready to go.
Oh my God. Oh
One
my.
time I did it with him. One time. It's so powerful for kids. And I did it in a high school in New York. And you don't get so much feedback from high school kids. They're a little bit more reticent to say what they're thinking. And a year later, I was walking down the street in Brooklyn, which is a section of New York, and this teenage boy comes over to me and says, excuse me, aren't you the Tai Chi teacher? And I smiled and I said, well, yeah, I guess I am. He said, I just wanted to tell you, the day that you came to my school last year was the best day of the year.
Oh,
And so I know that even if no one does Tai Chi with him in his school again, he will never forget that. The whole group will not forget that. And so they've had their imaginations opened to a way that they can find peace without taking drugs and other things. And I have so many stories. I next need to write a book about what kids say about Tai Chi, because
I looking forward to that book. Okay, I hope you get time, and to write it, and to share with the world. And well, I really appreciate your precious time. I know you, even though you say you retire, but you continue to work on various projects and try to promote Tai Chi and Qigong and for the benefit of children. This is great. And actually, everyone, if you're watching this video, and I have a disclaimer, and Cari and I and another Dr. Keith right? And we're going to do a little presentation at the coming conference, a science conference hosted by OSHA Center and with Harvard Medical School. Of course, I am not a scientist, and the presentation I am going to do is about Tai Chi for kids, and Cari will be there also presenting hers, her how should I say, her little, how should I
Tai Chi,
say,
her little Tai Chi.
little Tai Chi, yeah, little Tai Chi, but big effect. Okay, well, so thank you all very much for watching this, and if you have any questions, and please drop a line down there for me or for Cari. Okay, thank you.